think I need some tacos. Where do they have good tacos around here?
A few minutes later.
Montana. Let's go to Montana. Hi.
Where are you going today?
I'm going on the Empire Builder.
All right.
Briggs. Need a little help? I'll carry it upstairs for you. What room do you say you were in? 4. Yeah. You got that?
Yeah, I think so.
Alright, it's right there. We'll squeak by you here. Oh, no worries. That window is unfortunate. Okay, this is our room for the night. So we are off to Havre, Montana, to a place called Taco Treat. Seeing that the Empire Builder, an Amtrak train, drops you off right in Havre, and there's about a 2-hour turnaround before the train coming west shows up. So I thought I'd get off, 2 hours, enjoy some tacos, get back on. And if you gotta go to Montana, one of the best ways to do it is by taking the train. You get to see some beautiful country. I chose the room, which this is called the bedroom. It comes with a bathroom, a bed, and all that. Not sitting coach, I get a bed, I get some privacy, and can film out the window. The bathroom is also a shower, which, it's a shower on a moving train. And it's kind of small. If you take a shower while the train is moving, my suggestion is to put down the lid on the toilet and use it as a bench. The light switch is right outside the door. Don't shower in the dark, it's inappropriate. Things are a lot better now on Amtrak. A couple of years ago, they had this guy running the show called Richard Anderson. Richard Anderson didn't do a good job. At least that's my opinion. It's a lot of people's opinion. They did things like get rid of the dining car and just start serving it to people on this garbage. Now, this is a reason for this. The car I'm on right now, or the train I'm on right now, splits into 2 parts. One part goes to Seattle from Spokane. The other part goes to Portland. We meet back up in Spokane, and the dining cars with the Seattle one. So we'll have that later. So this is just a temporary thing for this trip. But he switched to every meal was like this. They brought it to your room, no more dining car. Just, it was ridiculous. The food was horrible, and it was cost-cutting measure, and they tried to make it sound like it was some grand thing, you know, dining habits are changing, and we're just going with how people want to do things anymore. He was trying to save a buck. Anyway, they got rid of him. They got someone else. The first thing they did was bring back the dining car. If you've never eaten food on an Amtrak train, it's pretty damn good. I mean, for something cruising across the country, it's better than airline food. It's better than McDonald's. It's not as good as, let's say, Five Guys. That's the best way I can explain it. But you can get a steak, you can get omelets, you can get all that good stuff. It's pretty good food. Tonight, I got to deal with this. Tomorrow morning, I get a legit breakfast. So after the train finally starts rolling, you head over across the river and into Vancouver, Washington. After Vancouver, Washington, you go alongside the Columbia River Highway with the Columbia River to the right of the train. It is beautiful. Sadly, I had the dirtiest window I've ever seen on an Amtrak train, so it wasn't the greatest. First stop is Bingen, Washington, which is right there on the river. It's a small town, only has a population of around 700 residents. But they do have a Huckleberry Festival every year, and that draws some people in. You stop at Wishram, Pasco, and eventually Spokane around midnight, and that's where you meet up with the other half of the train. At night, the bedroom seating folds down into a bed. There's a bunk bed above there. I'm alone, so I don't need the bunk bed. You go to sleep since there's nothing to film, and you wake up and you see this. It's a pretty nice town. It's definitely not your typical Montana town. It's pretty cool. I gotta come up here and stay for like a week one of these days. Pretty soon, I'm sure. But we are Whitefish. They give us about a 4 to 5 minute break out here, so everyone's smoking and everyone's enjoying themselves. And it is brisk. So I'm heading back in. Not the cleanest window. Okay, so what I'm in is the sleeper cars. This is where you get the whole bed, your food's free, all that good stuff. What I'm about to show you is like the coach, or whatever they call it, where you just get a seat. Kick the little doors to open them. So right now in 2024, if you wanted to use one of these coach seats, it would cost you about $137 to go from Portland to Havre, Montana. Now, if I would have been paying cash for my room, it would have been about $800. I have an Amtrak credit card. I had points. This whole trip was free, basically. I used points, not cash. Not really free, but you know what I mean. This is a 20-hour trip. It's overnight, so you'd be sleeping in a coach seat overnight, which a lot of people do. I've actually seen a lot of people do it across the country, which is a 2.5-day trip. A couple of years back, I saw this young mom with 2 kids, and she was struggling. She had tears in her eyes almost every time I saw her. She was going through some bad stuff, so I asked the conductor if I could upgrade them to a roomette. He said, yeah, let me. Never told her who did it. I saw her in the dining car later that day, and she was happy. I was happy too. Every time I walked by her, which is like 4 times a day, I just felt horrible for her. If you do get a roomette or a bedroom or a family bedroom, all your food's included. Being able to take a shower and having some privacy is so worth it. After Whitefish, you start heading towards West Glacier Park or Glacier National Park area. This is the absolute best part of the trip. The scenery you see out your window is life-changing. You're going through the Rockies. You're going through a national park. This goes on for a few hours. By the time you reach East Glacier Park, it starts to look like Nebraska. Flat and wheat fields. I don't know what they're growing out there. It looks like wheat fields to me. Okay, so a couple things to know about traveling on Amtrak. One, they are notoriously late. There's a lot of reasons for this. One reason is the freight lines that, carry all the cargo back and forth. They own these tracks that Amtrak runs on. So they get priority. So if one's coming, we got to pull over like we're doing right now and wait for it. They have these little extra tracks where you can pull over in certain areas, and they've got a whole air traffic controller, but for trains. They got one of those, and they tell us to pull over, and so we got to wait. Sometimes we've waited 5 minutes, sometimes we've waited a half hour. It just depends. So they're usually an hour or so late. Sometimes, I should say most times I've been pretty lucky that we've either been on time, a few minutes ahead of time. Only one trip where we just ridiculously late. And that's because we had a train breakdown. We hit a kid, sadly. But overall, I've been pretty lucky. Today, I think we might be a little late. Considering my plan is to get to Havre, Montana, eat some tacos, get back on the other train coming. I got like a 3 or 4 hour gap there. I think it's going to be close. I might only have an hour or maybe less in Montana, in Havre, and then I got to get back on a train. So we'll see how that works out. Now, a couple other things. One, this is probably the dirtiest window I've ever seen on an Amtrak train. I've been wanting to film out this the whole time. So as you could see from the footage you've already seen so far, it's pretty bad. I've been filming out this one. This one on this side's a little better, but there's not much going on over there, so got to deal with what you got to deal with, right? But yeah, so we're waiting. We're outside of West Glacier Park, and we're heading to East Glacier Park, coming out of the mountains and into the prairie, the plains, whatever you want to call it. Yeah, we'll see if we can get there on time. See when we get there. So this is Havre, Montana. Got about a 5-minute walk to Taco Treat. Get some tacos, see the rest of the town, get back on the westbound train. It's not how things turned out. Havre, Montana is a small town about 45 minutes from the Canadian border at Wild Horse. Currently, they have a population of just under 10,000 residents, and they've been losing population since the 1980 census. Originally, way back in the day, like the early 1800s, this place was called Bullhook Bottoms, but then it was changed to Havre. The area had a strong French influence back in the day, so that's why they went with Havre. The French word's actually pronounced more like Le Havre. This is a perfect example of giving Americans a fancy foreign word and watching them butcher it. So they stuck with Havre. I used to live in a similar place up here in Oregon. It's called Aloha. It's actually spelt Aloha, but they called Aloha here. There's other stories how they got the name, more on that later. So, here in Havre, it's like the town that time forgot. Everything here looks like it was made in the 1950s, and they haven't upgraded much since then. The only thing new in this town is the cars. Everything else seems kind of old. Like, it's just got that, I grew up in Torrance, California. Back when I was younger, it was like you go down to Old Torrance is what they called it, and that's when everything was made. All the buildings were put up, right after World War II or a little before that. This kind of reminds me of that too, when the United States was booming and little places like Havre could survive. Now, unless they got something out here like oil booming, this isn't a city that would survive. I mean, it seems to be doing okay, but it just doesn't seem like it should. I don't know. Got Wells Fargo, that's always nice. Movie theater, where do they play it? Hot Love. Is that a good movie or is that a dirty movie? What's going on here? Hotline. Oh, that's their hotline. I'm an idiot. I'm officially an idiot. They got these new little benches everywhere in town. It's kind of nice. They're not for bus stops or anything like that. They're just there for people to sit down on. I don't think they have a bus here. But these days, at a place like Havre, it's hard to survive here. I mean, they don't have any big industries. They got the rail yard. I know there's farming in the area. Farming doesn't employ as many people as it used to. It's too bad. There was a lot of families and stuff were raised in this town. A lot of happy memories, and then it just kind of dies off like a tree when winter comes. It just becomes a shadow of what it used to be. Then you hope there's some kind of rebirth, but I don't know. I've been to a lot worse than Havre, where there's just no hope for it ever recovering, and this is it. Some of their stores are still open. They don't have nearly as many closed down stores in this little Main Street area that I've been on. There's some places, especially you get out in Kansas and you get out in Iowa, where they've got like maybe one store that's open where there used to be like 25 or something, and it's just sad. But I can tell you one thing, I get the vibe there's a lot of drug use going on around here. You ever seen those people that get that little tweaker walk thing? Where they shake when they walk and their hand flows behind their back like this? I've seen a lot of that today. I'm gonna go get some tacos, see what all the hubbub's all about. They really fucking closed right now? Well, sucks for them. Closed 2 to 4. That, oh man. Closed from 2 to 4. My train gets here at 4. So I'm going to the second place I was suggested. Taco Treat. Taco Treat just missed out on some, well, I guess they're getting free. I guess they're getting free advertising anyway, so sucks to be them. Damn, they're supposed to be really good. All right, there's number 2 place on my list. Let's go take a look at that one. clean, nice. People are nice. They weren't closed, that's a plus. So Guadalajara is the other place that I heard is really, really good. So we're going with that, and we're gonna see how they are. Taco treat, you missed out. Chips and salsa test first. Those are fresh. These are fresh. They're still warm. And a little oily, so you know they just made them. Sorry, I had that camera going.
You're okay.
I don't think I got your face.
Anything else right now?
Nope, I'm doing perfect. Thank you.
Good.
Thank you. Normally the best Mexican food places you're gonna find will have like the grandmother cooking or she's hanging out, but like they don't speak Spanish or they don't speak English, and then the grandkids are working. They're the only ones who speak English. That's where you'll find the best Mexican food. One down, perfect. Outstanding. So those were excellent tacos. They were the hard shell, which I usually like soft shell, but the hard shell was pretty good. They seemed fresh. The chips were definitely fresh. And the salsa was outstanding. It's a nice looking street. Bet it looks nice during the summer months when they got some leaves on the trees. So this is just a railroad town. This is how it got started. This is how it's gonna just be, a rail town. I think I'm gonna head back to the train yard. I have this horrible fear that I'm gonna get left by the train. And I also have this horrible fear that you're gonna see that sun behind me like some kind of halo. Does that look a little better? You can see my ugly face. But yeah, this is just a train city. Train town, I should say. When they first got it going in 1893, there's only 26 people, and they voted unanimously to become a town. They put it unanimously like it's a big accomplishment. There's only 26 people here. Let's head back to the train. This is a neat looking building. PBP, what is that place? That's the barbecue place, okay. Let's try the barbecue place. It's got a nice sign over there. Hey guys, pretty good. I'm gonna pay for it, but I just need a small sample of something. I do food reviews on YouTube, so I just need to taste something, but I'll pay full price. I'm not trying to get anything free.
Brisket sandwich and mac and cheese?
Brisket sandwich, no mac and cheese, just the sandwich.
Brisket sandwich, perfect, perfect.
Oh, she's talking to me.
No, yeah, she wants to know what you're doing.
Oh, I got all these good reviews on that taco treat over there, and they were closed. I'm only here for 2 hours and they're closed.
Oh my.
Yeah.
Are you driving or train?
Train this time, yeah. I don't think I'd.
YouTube channel.
Called World According to Briggs. All right, so that was some good barbecue. Had a brisket. I would suggest getting the brisket if you ever come here. Parker's Barbecue Pit. Veteran owned too, so you gotta love that. All right, everyone. Let's get out of this town. It's pretty small, pretty weird. With that, I got back on the train and headed west, back to Portland, Oregon. It got dark about a half hour after we got on the train. When I woke up, we were along the Columbia River, almost home. Even though I missed out on Taco Treat, it was a good trip. It was fun. I enjoyed it. I hope you did too. Everybody have a great day. Be nice to each other.